Hello beautiful people and welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. I am here to talk about Chromia coin, CHR. Now this video is going to contain both fundamental analysis, so we're going to be visiting the chr.com website to understand what CHR is. Then we're going to also visit the coin market cap to see the market current statistics, and then we're going to come back to the price and talk about analyzing where the price is going next. Is it going to go up, and when are we going to possibly see a good pump on CHR? Is it still a good buy? This is what we're going to talk about. So first of all, chr.com talks about CHR. Now if you don't know what CHR is, it is actually a rational blockchain that helps you build decentralized application easily and put it out into the real world. Now this is good for enterprises and businesses, developers who want to build games and all of that. A good examples of apps or platforms created under the blockchain, a good example is a game called My Neighbor Alice. Now My Neighbor Alice is a multiplayer blockchain builder game where anyone can buy an old virtual island. Now you guys talk about metaverse. Now this is a good example of owning a metaverse. Collect and build existing item and meet new friends. Now this is you play, you earn. Now this is also currently trading on Binance. This is trading Alice. My Neighbor Alice is trading on Binance. So you can see all this is built on top of this blockchain, a platform, a gaming platform that is a metaverse platform. Here another good example is the LAC property chain. Now LAC property chain is a land administrator initiative in Latin America. Now they build their whole application open source on top of Chromia blockchain. Now another example of DeFi platform is the Hedget. Hedget is for cryptocurrency economy that are built on like easy hedge your account. Like when about hedging, if you don't know what hedging is a way of using another opportunity to reduce loss that you are acquiring on one coin. So this platform is good for investing to manage investment risk. This is also built on the Chromia platform and a lot more, but we're not going to dive into all of that. But that is good services, right? So because most of these are trading already on real exchange. So now let's look at the current market statistics of Chromia. Chromia currently is trading at 0.6119, of which it has seen 0.26% in the last 24 hours. That doesn't look like a good move the whole day. But does it mean there will be more dump or up? That doesn't say much. Let's go dive deeper into the statistics. Now, according to CoinMarketCap, so if you don't know what CoinMarketCap, you can Google it. CoinMarketCap.coin is going to give you the statistics of any coin you're looking for. So according to CoinMarketCap, the current circulatory supply. Now if you don't know what circulatory supply is, the amount of coin that are circulating in the market and that are currently in the public hands. Now in terms of that, CHR currently have about 567.369.639 million tokens. So approximately 569 million token is currently in circulation. Now another good data you might want to have interest in if it's the first time you're hearing about this coin is the maximum supply. If you don't know what the maximum supply in terms of cryptocurrency is, it is the amount of coin that will ever exist in the lifetime of that cryptocurrency. Now in terms of that, CHR has the maximum supply of 1 billion tokens. How about total supply? Well, total supply, on the other hand, is the amount of coin that has already been created, mined and whatever, minus anyone that has been burnt. So currently the remaining that is here is currently 471.970667 million token. That is what is currently in total supply. Now that is good figure. Now that we understand the little basis fundamental of CHR, can we actually talk about price? Because my body loves to hear about price. Are we going up? When will CHR pump? So I'm going to start this analysis. It's going to be a multi-time frame analysis. We're going to be looking at the weekly chart, the daily chart, the monthly chart using the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. I do not use indicator, so it's going to be pure price action. I'm going to draw the box and I will explain the chart, telling you what the market is doing. So we're going to start by, I'm going to bring in the horizontal support and resistance. This is the skeleton of what is going on between these buyers and sellers. Of course, it takes two to tango. The buyers and the sellers. Without sellers, there's no buyers. Without buyers, there's no sellers. So this is a skeleton of everything that is going on right now. So I'm going to bring the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. I'm drawing it on weekly chart. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it. So this is the Bitcoin Gorilla box. I developed it myself. You know, they say trading is 80% waiting, 10% buying, 10% selling. This box has helped me a lot in a lot of way, and it was built based on my personal experience, and of course from my lessons and books that I've read, and especially using lessons I learned from J.C. Livermore, the pioneer of day trading, which I call my mentor because I love his trading, his pure price action, and he has inspired me to study so much about what is happening in terms of price movement instead of depending on indicators. So this is the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy that I developed myself. If you want to learn more about it, you can visit www.makavelitraders.com to learn more about how you can become part of the family and learn about the strategy. And actually, I'll be using it to trade live when I start doing live streaming soon. So this is the box on the weekly, but before I start, I'm going to look at it on the daily. So I drew that box on the weekly. Let's go back to the weekly first. Let me finish the box. I'm going to try to see if I can get an inner box. This is going to help me to interpret what is going on in the intraday. So this is more like intraday where the bulls are, and intraday where the bears are. So I don't use indicators, so if you're patient, I'm going to explain every aspect of the chart for you to understand. I just want to map it out to make it easier so that I won't waste your time when I start explaining the chart. It's going to be multiple time frames, so we're going to be looking at the candlesticks aside on their own. After looking at the candlesticks, we're going to look at we're also going to look at, let me leave it this way. After we look at the candlesticks one, and then we're comparing it with what the box is telling us. So this is the box. Before I start dealing with the box, I want to look at the candlesticks. So I'm going to turn off the box. I've turned it off, so we're going to try to see what these candles are saying, because very importantly is what is going on the higher time frame. The lower time frame support and resistance can easily get shattered and destroyed. So we need to play with the big boys and girls. We need to play with the whales. They say if you can't beat them, you join them. So we have to ride with them at their back. You know, we don't want to get kicked out. We don't want to get pulled into the center of mistaking the bulls for the bears and mistaking the bears for the bears. That's buying the top and selling the and all of that. So here, this is a clear bullish market structure. Higher highs, higher lows, right? And higher highs. These are the two clear highs. And if I add with this, so the bulls are clearly in control still on CHR monthly chart. Now, if I go further into explaining what this chart is telling me, I see that the candlesticks don't lie. I always say that candlesticks don't lie. This is a breakout of an accumulation sideways market. Now, this accumulation took place since March 2020 to February 2022. That's a long time. For this long, this market did not move. Now, money has been entering this market. Why did I say money is entering the market, and how did I know? Because obviously we saw the reaction to the upside. Now, when the money is entering the market and there is not enough sellers, price will tend to go up to seek sellers. So that's what happened here. Price met sellers here and then pull back, and then here again the money is still enough, so we couldn't see price returning below the last point where it started the move from, which is a good sign. What good sign? Is a sign that there is buy pressure, that people are constantly buying. Even though people try to sell, there's still enough people, enough capital entering the market that is forcing yet another breakout, because yet we still have a couple of months, about 6 months or so, sideways, just like what happened here. And again, the buyers came in, more capital entered this market, showing interest is growing over time. Now, this is monthly chart. You know that these are investors that tend to hold their coins for more than 6 months, some minimum of 1 year. They owe 10 years. These are people that are here for a long time, so they put more money into this. Now, this is a good thing because they would not want price to return below where they bought, right? So they are the ones breaking out of this consolidation. Good. Now, when we look at the candles, this is a bullish engulfing. This is a bullish candle, and we had the breakout, right? So, of course, this breakout is bullish. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is to check the candlesticks in relation to the red candlesticks, the green candlesticks in relation to the red candlesticks. What I am saying is pressure rising to the upside. This is a bull reversal, 2-bar reversal candlesticks. This is yet another 2-bar reversal candlesticks. So you see the bears push, but there is no enough sell-off to push price lower, right? So even though we see them completely trying to finish this buy here, just like they did here, did you see that these sellers, they try to go below this green, but the buyers refused by the next candle? The same thing happened here, and we see the same thing already happening of recent, just last month, March. The bulls showed some strength after 3 months of down move since December. So we see that last month they were able to hold the push down. It's not as if the strength was strong, but they stopped the push. So for a while we had a momentarily pause in the market, leading to what I call the inside bar. More like I'm going to use this term to describe it, like a mother with a baby, like more like a pregnant woman. So what do I mean? You have this red candle and here, but we have this green candle that did not break below the red candle or break above it. So it's kind of stuck in the middle. In the middle, it's neither going up or down. So that is caused a sign of sideways market. And I tell you, if I go to lower time frame, I'm going to tell you on the daily chart, that entire month was a sideways market. March might not look so sweet on the lower time frame because it's an inside bar. But again, this month that just opened, of course, I cannot judge a candle that's not closed yet. It is not right in price action for me to make a decision for something that I'm yet to see what it can become. A candle can change color at any time, even in the last second. So it's just like the game of football. You can be overconfident. Even in the last second, you can still score a goal. Buyers and sellers can still score a goal, even with the last second. Remember, I'm Bitcoin Gorilla. If you end up liking this analysis, don't mind me. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So let's move further and start deciphering this price. So this is a bullish sign. Why? They have broken above the baby, though I cannot conclusively say it's a bullish sign until they break above this red. But I tell you, the pressure is growing. The pressure is growing, and I will explain further by the time I bring in the Bitcoin Gorilla box why I say this is likely going to turn out to be a good April for the bulls. So April could lead us to start seeing a good move to the upside in terms of CHR. So let me bring in the Bitcoin Gorilla box, right? So I'm going to bring the Bitcoin Gorilla box, and we're going to look further into this market. So this is the box. So according to this box, there are some skeleton we need to find, right? So this is price action, so I like keeping everything in check, right? So I like considering every aspect that could bring failure. So what patterns am I seeing inside the box? So I can see clearly we have an expanding channel, right? A clear expanding channel. In fact, these bears, if not for the boss, they actually pierce through this channel. So you can see that they held it to read 1, so I'm going to zoom in so that you're going to have a better view of that. Remember, it's a deep analysis. If you like it, make sure you subscribe. Remember, this is no financial advice. I will break down everything and allow you the privilege of making the decision for yourself. Trust only yourself and make a better decision if this is a good coin to buy. But I will tell you everything I see coming on CHR for the next 3 months. I will tell you what I see coming. So you see that, yes, is an expanding channel, right? So we have one touch here on the sellers, second here, and we have yet a third one. Now for a channel we need a minimum of 2 touches, right? And then for these buyers, we have the first hit here, we had a second hit, we had a third hit. Now this is the fourth hit, and obviously they pierced below it, they went below it. So I know if you are the ones trading just channel, you're going to feel threatened and be like, okay, I'm selling off this coin because they've broken the line I was buying. This is why I created the Bitcoin Gorilla box, because a lot of time at this my stop loss get hit out because I did not see it coming, because I was treating a support as a line, until I learned that you have to treat support as an area. By the time I treat support as an area, I understand that when price is within that area, chances are high that there will be a little kind of sideways and something can change. So depending on what I see, remember, support and resistance can easily get broken. So this box has laws that are traded with what you need to see, and once you see, you need to exit the trade, or all of this you want to see, you need to come to Makaveli traders and learn with me. Access is currently closed. I am not taking students right now and you cannot join me, but I tell you this, by May I will open the door again for you to join me and trade this strategy with me for a lifetime. I trade live, I share my trade live with my student, and we take entry when I am trading. So you can see that they've broken the channel. We see that little weakness, but is it really a weakness or is it an advantage? Now price action calls this a spring. Now a spring is caused by the, like my box, this point is where the buyers are. Whenever buyers is here, this is the buyers area for the weekly chart, this is the sellers area for the weekly chart. Now this inside bar that I say is the market, is the inside bar, is, you know, the weekly chart is standing between the monthly bar guys and the daily guys. This is a multi-time frame analysis, so you have to understand each party what they are planning. By the time you understand what they are planning, it makes it easy for you to understand what decision is the best decision. For me, I like seeing the monthly guys are the ones making the big effort, and I see the daily guys following it through, and I can only see this mostly if I consider the weekly guys, because the weekly guys are the middleman. They are the ones that want to hold for 6 months and 3 months. These are the middleman, and their minds can change easily. But those holding for long term, their minds don't change easily. And those who trade intraday, of course we know how intraday works. They go in and out of the market severally. Their mind changes like the clock tick. So they are the baby, right? I call them a baby. So they are the baby inside the mother womb, right? So this big box, the big one, this one, represent the weekly and the monthly. The monthly guys, that is where you see what is happening. So let's explain it further. So I see a trend, a spring has already occurred based on the pattern I am seeing. So good, but we are on support. What do I mean? Chances of a bounce is high, and my box says that once we are on support, this is the support of the inside bar, this is the resistance of the inside bar. That's why I took my time to draw it. Now you ask me, how can I trade it? Well, let's jump into daily chart. So weekly chart is bullish because we are back into the channel. So the channel is telling me, let's try to see if we can get a control line for this channel. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a control line, that point where buyers and sellers are always meeting in the channel, right? What's the best control line? Let's see if we can get one. It's an expanding triangle and an expanding channel. So I think the best fit right now for the control line of the channel is this one right there. So you see, what do I mean? You can see this reaction whenever price is close to it. Obviously I only have 2 reactions now, so I cannot completely put my mind. In fact, I think this is my control line. I think I should move it. I think I can get a better answer with this if I place it here. It's good to make sure I am getting that. What am I looking? I'm looking for multiple rejection on the control line, multiple interaction, multiple reaction between buyers and sellers. There's multiple exchange of hands, right? So a good example is right here. There's this sideways, this drag between buyers and sellers. There's right here a drag, and there's right here a drag. So this gives me a sign that there is an exchange, a particular price range as the channel expands and move up, where these buyers and sellers meet and causes sideways market, a drag within the channel. So what does this tell me? It tells me that even if we return up, we get here, we're going to get a reaction. Yes, so around 0.8 to 0.9 range is going to cost us a reaction. So from this 0.76, in fact from 0.76, they will start seeing a reaction, because in the previous past you can see they got a reaction just around the same range, right? So I am always trying to remember, this is price action, history of what the price has done in the past. The data is so important that we know that when price returns to that range, we should see a reaction. So this is 1, this is 2, right? And this is 3. A reaction. It tried to go up, it got rejected, it bounced back before trying again. Here a return, it tried to go back up, it got rejected. So very important, I'm taking note of that point. And that is exactly where we have gotten to this week, and we pull back on CHR. Very important notice. So now I'm going to go further and take price to, so weekly chart says expect a reaction from 0.76 to 0. This point, because that's the resistance, that's the seller's range. So once we enter 0.76, we start feeling them, the pullback. We'll move, maybe we'll move 2 candle red and 2 candle green, we get a pushback. You move again, you get a pushback. You start seeing that, or you get an instant reaction. Depend on the sell pressure that is currently lying here. Now I cannot tell you how many people are willing to sell their coin tomorrow morning, so I cannot tell you how many sell pressure that will hit. But if the sell pressure hit, they will enter and they will return. So they could now start creating the bull market structure on the weekly chart, which means we need to see higher lows. So even if they return, they will try to hold my support, the tip of my support, because now since the first time they landed on it, they entered inside. Now they want to turn it into a support. They don't want to go below inside the support range. Support is like a Dunlop, so you treat it like a Dunlop. Say someone is jumping from a skydiver and you jump to the floor. When you jump to the ground on top of a Dunlop, of course you can't stand instantly on your feet. You have to bounce a little. So when they get here, if they get reaction, so I do see them somehow making it above this control line. So this white line you're seeing in the middle right here is the control line of the box, the big box, right? Is the middle line. This is the middle, so it's the control price. So you can see again, just like the control price of the channel, we see price doing this sideways when it gets to that white. So 2 control price, each one has its own. Now that's an explanation of what is playing on the weekly. So weekly said yes, we are going to still move up to at least this point before reacting. But does that mean we're not going further up? No, because we are going to likely see price get to actually 0.96 to 0.12 range, and I will explain that. But first, let's go to daily to look further down to see what daily chart is saying. If you are enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe, leave the comment leave if you have any question or any suggestion, just leave it in the comment section. Any coin you want me to analyze next and break it down, in-depth analysis. This is in-depth analysis. No indicators is allowed, and I'm telling you everything that I'm seeing. Remember, I did not draw this chart on the daily chart. I only made all my drawing on the weekly chart, but I am going to use that same drawing to explain every time frame that we're going to be dealing with. So there's no need of redrawing the box again, right? Depending on the time frame you're trading, you can know how to use it. If you want to learn more about this box, visit the link that you're seeing at the screen, www.makavelitraders.com, to learn more about me, Bitcoin Gorilla, and how you can join Makaveli Traders, the family, and trade life. Now, so this is the daily chart. It gets more interesting. So I'm going to zoom in. It gets even more interesting. That shouldn't happen. So I'm going to zoom in. It gets interesting. So here, why do I say it gets interesting? Because now I can start looking for the sellers. Because when they were pushing down, they were respecting a channel, a structure, a clear bearish market structure. If you don't know what market structure is, this is price action, of course. Higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. That's the bearish market structure. And you see, each time we're drawing a line, so this is the seller's line I just draw, and you have we need minimum of 2 touches. This is 1 and this is 2. So we have 2 touches. But something happens. Something has changed. This is daily chart. Something changed from here. We see that they broke above their line. They broke above their line. That is a sign of bulls, buyers coming into the market. But before they did that, there was a sideways. Now, I don't know if you remember on the monthly chart, before we even start drawing the chart, I talked about how the pregnant woman, the bar that caused the pregnant woman is a sideways. This is the bar here. So let's go to monthly chart, and you see that it's only one candle that formed that sideways movement. That is a sign of accumulation. It's accumulation because we already had a downpour, right? So you can see it's just one candle. Did you see the 2 candles? It's just that green candle that formed that. It's just one candle. This is the monthly chart. Just one candle. So let's go back to the daily chart and let's break down what happened and what is going to likely happen next based on what happened in the past. So you see the sideways market is a sign of accumulation, and you know price life cycle has 4 phases: accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, and all of that. Now this accumulation has shown that capital was entering the market, and now the bulls have overcome the sellers because they dragged for a while. Who is going up, who is going down? Obviously before now the bears were in charge because somehow they managed to keep pushing them down. But on the instance, the market structure has changed because now they are no longer falling below since they broke out here. Remember, the first thing we talked about on the monthly chart is the accumulation that went on for a few months, couple of almost over 6 months before the move to the upside started. Remember, it looks something like this. Now, since the move to the upside on the monthly, they never returned to the downside. Now, this is the same pattern playing down in the daily chart. So if I zoom in, you see that since they broke out, they have not returned. What is that telling me? That capital is constantly entering the market, and there's higher lows, higher highs, showing the bullish market structure. But here's the thing, according to my box, now this is where my box is telling me how far can they go. Now my box says that if we start at the bottom, we're heading to the top, and if we start from the top, we're heading to the bottom. So what is this boost telling me? Is simple. They are definitely heading first. They will hit here. They already hit my control line. Remember, I drew this on the weekly chart, and see how perfectly everything was hitting each line. You see the control line. I said there's always a sideways moving, a reaction on the control line, a drag, sort of a rejection of, are we going up? No, it is my turn to move. No, move in this direction. They keep dragging the price, kind of thing. So now they are back to it, and you see they are already reacting. So what can that cause? Now 2 things are very possible. The very possible first thing is they are sure they are not done. So even if they push back, they will stand at here. So here now becomes, remember, the top of their breakout. So it's like they'll come back for a retest as worst case scenario. They come back for a retest at 0.4 or 0.36. Now, worst case scenario, remember, there's no guarantee that this retest will take place yet. Why? Because you don't know how much capital has entered here, and depending on the capital, the price will keep going up to look for sellers. It got here, it found sellers, it was not enough, only one candle, and it has to go higher to seek more sellers. Same thing happened here. There is not yet enough sellers. So if the sellers at this control line that was obviously shorting here before is not enough, and the buyers keep coming like they have been since from this point, then they will end up breaking through. So mind you, it is not a guarantee that they will come back, but chances are high. If the sell-off is high, they will come back. But here's the second possibility. I said there are two possibility. The second possibility the daily chart is saying, the box. And for me, I like paying attention to my box. If my box say wait is going higher, if I'm patient, I'll get what I want. Somehow it works. It just works. I don't know. Yeah, I know you're going to doubt. This is why I've said that I am going to start doing more live stream. I used to live stream, then I stopped, but I think I want to start doing more live stream to show this box in live action. I've never showed this box in live action. I draw it, analyze price, play it out. So you see, they will get to this box. According to the box strategy, I'll get a reaction around 0.76 or 75. I'll get a reaction. If I don't get it, I'll get it as long as they get that. Did you see the way? Let me give you a good example. Did you see how they got here? They reacted, they pushed back, and they went again. So this is what I could get. I could get them moving and reacting, and then moving all the way up, right? So they are likely going to get here, but they could get to this point. Now, if they don't get stopped at 0.9, they will get reaction at 0.76 to 0.8, the first reaction. Depending on the sell pressure, if it's still not enough, like I'm seeing it, it's not, this is more like a short squeeze when you are shorting and it's not going down because the pressure is too high, because as a result of previous accumulation of capital, and price needs to seek for more sellers because more capitals are coming in. So if that capital is much, then we're going to seek a stronger resistance, which is this range. Now this gap between the baby is a very important area. Now obviously we could see them move like this and come back, because mind you, they will return. Yes, they will return. So I like moving my stop loss as they move. I move my stop loss up. It helps me protect my profit so that this went on return, because it's still a sideways. You see this drama that happened here? Even though we have our way to go up, they will return and then try again before the real move up, right? So either they get completely returned from this point, according to the box, from 0.9, or they could push further to 0.1 range, but they will return before moving further up. So this is going to take, April is going to be a good month. It's going to be a good month. So April, May is going, the spring, let me put the spring. The spring is going to be a good month for a recovery, because this is more like a recovery, right? Because they already went down, so they are trying to recover. But the good thing is we are out of the lion's mouth. That is the seller's mouth. We broke it when we left here, but they will likely come to retest and make sure that this is not a fake break, and it is a strong break. This is daily chart, so far so good. They are holding up, and I don't see a reason to panic. So let's take my box, let's stretch my box down to 4 hours. What does it look like on the 4 hours chart, and what can we deduct from it all? This chart was drawn, like I said, on the weekly chart. So this is what it looks like. Obviously I can't zoom any further back, but let me give you a glance. But this is what it looks like on the 4 hours. So when I zoom in to trade this chart, it's going to be easier for me to trade without needing to draw anything more. So for me to be able to trade a market, I need to see the market, right? So you can see these are big targets, right? So these are big targets. So if I had entered the trade here, you can see This is my channel line, the channel on the weekly. This is the channel line. You can see the reaction. We drew these things on the weekly, but you can see how they react each time they get to this line. So this is the channel line, and this is my support. So they broke, you can see countlessly, they needed to struggle to break the support, right? To break outside the support. Remember, when you jump in on the support, inside it, it becomes a resistance, the tip. So you need to break out of it. So they've broken out of it. So like I said, the control line has already given its clear reaction already. We did not draw this chart on 4 hours, but this is the control line. I'm zooming in for you to see the control line. That is where I would have taken profit. It would have been a clear profit range because it's the control line, and we expect the sellers to come in and kick us down. But that does not mean the end, because again, if we look closely, the buyer's strength has been growing. This is what we saw on the daily chart, right? This is 4 hours. This is a clear bullish market structure. So let's even stretch this whole thing and say, can we actually see if we can connect the dots on the 4 hours? For the sake of 4 hours traders, is there any channel? Because since it's bullish market structure, can we get a good clear channel of what was playing out before now? So this is what was playing out. This is what was playing out. And they tried to pierce it. This is more like a spring, right? This is what is forcing a pullback. So we could likely still get the pullback. Remember I talked about this pullback? Remember I talked about this pullback on daily chart. So 4 hours is already saying there's already a spring that took place on the 4 hours chart, and we could get a pullback. So this pullback, this is already a lower high, and if they continue, they could end here, right? They could end here for them to get a more strength. Now, like I said, just like I did the first channel, of course, we can still draw our control line to even make interpretation even way easier. Why do I have to draw the control line? Because I understand the power of control line. The control line is the middle where they meet, the equilibrium range, and price is always trying to hold it. So when price is above the control line, the sellers are trying to push it below and the buyers are trying to keep it above. When it's below, the sellers are trying to push it lower and the buyers are trying to push it above. So like here, when it's above, you can see the struggle for it to go below. But you can see here, when it's below, you can see the struggle for it to go above, and you can see each time there is a struggle to keep above it or below it. So in this situation where we are, they are above it. So are they going to struggle to keep it? If they don't succeed, then we could see something like this playing out, right? You can see it again here. They don't succeed, they fall. They don't succeed, they fall. So they have to keep above it, but when they fall, it does not mean the end of the bulls, because the lower aspect is the bulls line, trend line, right? And they always seems to magically bounce anytime they touch it. If you don't understand price action and you want to learn more, just visit the link that you're seeing at this so that you can join Makaveli Traders. It's a one-time payment for a lifetime access to join me and trade live. Trade the Bitcoin Gorilla. I'll teach you the Bitcoin Gorilla box. I developed it myself from my experience, and you can see how when you trade it, it's going to be easy. So it's going to be easy. The only thing is, when you enter the box, it helps you get a high swing. So it's good for swing, good big profit. So if I had entered a sell here, I know my box tells me target the bottom. So of course, this is where the bottom is, and this is where I would have taken profit. And of course, if I enter a buy here, of course, my target is what? The top 0.8 to 0.9 range to $1 range. I will get it. Why? I'm thinking about it as a range. So once it gets close to it, I could start seeing the drama. Of course, again, like I said, history repeats itself. I could get something like that. So I expect something like that playing out at that point. So this is 4 hours. And I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. If you enjoy this analysis, don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and as well, don't forget to click the notification bell if this is your first time. If you have any coin you really want me to break down like this, you can actually just leave it on the comment section and I will do that. So CHR is good to buy if you want to hold it for the spring. It's good. But I will warn you something. Bitcoin has influence in a lot of coin. It does not mean that the price is not going to move, but we are going to see a sideways market when price gets to this point. So even if we manage to get to this point and pull back and get above, we're going to see that sideways. So patience is going to be needed. That's why I call it the spring. Now, if you want to trade daily with me, these coins, you can also come and join Makaveli Traders, where I share my trade with my family on Telegram. Now, I don't give signals. I don't encourage signals. I believe signals are not. We encourage you to learn trading. If you really want to go in trading for a long time, it's good to understand the basic fundamental analysis. I believe in price action. And thank you for watching. I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. Happy trading. I wish you the best. CHR is still bullish on the monthly aspect. I will come and update you. Bye.